Hi there, I'm Emmy, and I want to take you on a journey. I want to look at some layers that might be under your migraine, and specifically, I want to look at perfectionism, shame, and anger, and how they are linked with each other, and how it is a vicious circle. I think for people who have chronic migraine, many of them, they know that they're looking for structure, for things to do it in a right way. They really want to have a hold of structures, and that is what it is. It gives safety. It gives a holding, and we all need a certain amount, a certain degree of discipline, of structure that is very, very natural. There where it's good to look at it if we are needing perfectionism, structure, to dim down feelings, because we have an emotional landscape inside of us of being overwhelmed, of not being able to process feelings, or that the feelings are too much and when we are suppressing them. And if we want not to contact this chaotic emotional world, and then prefer to have an outer structure that gives us a hold of how to take care of life, then that might be putting you under a lot of pressure, because then each time when you're not fulfilling your nutrition list, and each time when you're not doing your exercises, each time when you have made a mistake in some context, then this pressure, this emotional pressure, is building up. And what your system is doing, it is dimming it. You don't want to feel that, and this dimming it away, this is where you have a lot of fear, a lot of insecurity. And this constant alarm state where you are in, then it is almost like a survival mode, because you don't want to make mistakes. You want to be sure that you have it under control. That pressure is a part of your migraine. Like your nervous system all the time is on guard and does not want to make mistakes, wants to be sure, doesn't want to be blamed, does not want to be ridiculized. That's also something that is very important. But very often this goes back to childhood, to the biography. And what we see there is that for many of us, as a baby, as a child, we were in this natural dependence, and we were expressing our very organic, natural needs, but the caretakers could not really meet us there. And then we have this situation of not being met in our needs, of being left alone. And this is then where we have decided as a little child to take care of ourselves, so that we can avoid that situation of being dependent, of having that pain that you don't know how life is going to continue. There is a hopelessness, because as a baby, as a child, you are dependent. And so you take this strategy of taking care of yourself. You don't want to feel that pain of being left alone and of having your unmet needs. And this doing it all by yourself often ends in being perfect and not feeling the pain and dimming everything down. So that's one part of this circle. And then another part that comes in is perfectionism and anger. It's like you probably know that your standard is very high. So you look at people and you expect them also to be as meticulous as you are. You cannot understand why they don't deliver things on time. You do not understand why, with just some little symptoms, they're not doing their work. So there are big and high expectations, and there is a kind of strictness that we have then towards others. because that is how we can control the world. It's like over there again, we want to be in a safe space. I think I cannot repeat it often enough, like perfectionism and high standards is giving us this sense of safety. Like when I control it, if I do it by my own, if I can do it the way I think it is right, then this gives me a safe feeling. And I don't want to feel what has happened in my childhood. But back again, it's like with others, it's like I unconsciously, I'm dimming down the anger, the irritation that I have that others are not fulfilling my standards. And then there is something that is very, very specific for people who have chronic migraine. Having migraine already very often, the people in our surroundings, we think we are too much for them. We think we are a burden. We think that this is very unpleasant to have us as a person who is having very often these pains and cannot function in some days in a normal way. And then we are angry at them. We are frustrated with them because they're not meeting our standards. And that's where our nervous system, our emotional system is really like, hey, what am I going to do with this? Like, I am already too much because I got migraine. I cannot express my anger because this is gonna bring the relationship in danger. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose the connection that I'm having there. And then we really have a big dilemma. So again, we need to suppress anger, because it's too risky to speak it out. And then you really have this inner pressure of all these things, like not expressing anger, being afraid that the next migraine might come, and not wanting to be a burden like we were probably for our parents. Like when you have grown up in an environment where your caretakers were overwhelmed, it's like they had this feeling like, we don't know how to take care of you as a child. This is too much. It's like we know in life, like many parents need to work. There are fathers and mothers who bringing up their children alone. So it is really a hard job in the society that we have become. So what I want to say with that is that there is also a reality behind it. It's like parents, they have a job that is too big to take care of children, and very often we don't have these networks where we can all take care of children. And then as a grown up, having migraine, it's like you really, really don't want to go back to this feeling of, I am too much for others. So I'm dimming down my needs, I'm dimming down my emotions. And all of that is like this pressure cooker inside of me. And on top, now I'm touching the third element, is the shame. When I make a mistake, when I express my need, this is so dangerous because it is something that is a very, very early wounding. Then there is this sense of shame, like something must be wrong with me. It's like I'm always so sensitive. And why isn't it normal that we have a healthy structure? And I feel that so often I have this inner pressure cooker, and why don't other people have that? So this dilemma is putting a lot of shame and self-criticism, and that's another element that is part of all these layers that might be under your migraine. So what's the way out? The way out is a soft invitation that you are going to reflect where in your life you can see that you have this perfectionism, where it is hard for you to accept that we are humans and that we make mistakes and that we are learning from every single experience. Like Look at that. Where is your perfectionism? And try in moments of being more quiet with yourself, in meditation, in journaling, in having good conversations, try to find the deeper levels under that. Like when you see something needs to be perfect in the evening or in that moment, check with yourself, what is beneath this? Look at what kind of safety you need. Try to see where in your life you already have people with whom you can connect in a safe way, and tell them about your shame. Tell them about your anger. Like, try to make a bigger space for this pressure that you got inside of you. Try to make a bigger relational space, like to connect people where it is safe, so that you can open up all these chaotic feelings that you have, that you share them with them, so that in that sharing, you will find a relief. And bit by bit, this relief, like pressure, can come out of your inner system, is going to bring your nervous system to a more quiet place. And then your migraines, they might get less intensive, because your nervous system does not need to be in alarm state, because you feel more safe, because you have this experience of not needing to do it alone. So I know this has been a big chapter, and I have touched different qualities, maybe even in a very quick way. And in the lessons that I will give you in my course, we will really go deeply into one aspect by the other. So you will really have the time to dive deeper and to explore for yourself. And I invite you for my course, Migraine Transformation, so that you for yourself can also find that way of healing your pain.